Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. For this proclamation, I would like you to remain here, Mr. President, as chair of the Public Safety Committee. And I'd also like to welcome Juanita Rogers, who is co-chair of the board. And so, Ms. Rogers, thank you for everything that you're doing. And the reason I wanted to draw attention to the VSAB is because during this pandemic, we know that people are confronting new barriers to getting help. And whether it's being unable to leave home or losing unemployment or, quite frankly, managing kids at home while they're also working, these are stressful times for everybody. And nationally, we know that there has been up to a 50% decrease in domestic violence hotline calls. And this is actually not good news that there's been a 50% decrease because it means that people are hesitant to call because we know that they are in close quarters with family members or loved ones who are not treating them well. And that is what has precipitated a 50% drop nationwide. And while health measures that we've all taken to keep the COVID-19 virus at bay have been hard for everybody, the challenges are not borne equally by everybody. And still, the statistics that I shared do not even accurately complete the picture of the help that is needed and the very stressful circumstances that many in our community are undertaking and going through, which is why the Victim Services Advisory Board is so critically important now more than ever. And so the Victim Services Advisory Board, they use their expertise to untangle the nuances in the numbers and the stories and personify what survivors need. And they share that with us so that we can provide local help to them. And so, Ms. Rogers, I want to thank you for being with us, and we'll hear from you in a second, but I'd like to turn it over to the Council President and Chair of the Public Safety Committee for a few comments.
Well, thank you I'm off mute. Well, thank you very, very much, Councilmember Glass, and thank you for involving me on this proclamation this morning. But you've said it all. We have to always keep in mind whenever someone talks about public safety that means there's been a victim involved, and that is something to always remember. And sometimes, because of the time it takes for justice to take its course, the person, thank goodness, has healed. The injuries have healed, but the mental side of it is not in many cases, and we need to keep that in mind. And just yesterday, and that's one of the reasons I'm remembering this, but just yesterday, I was on a Zoom call with my third grade classmate, Greg Wims, who started the Victims' Rights Foundation here in Montgomery County. And of course, we knew when he started it, way back when, why he did it, but it was so necessary to have that happen because we many times don't always make certain that the victim is taken care of properly, and they need to be involved in every step of the way. So I thank the Victim Services Advisory Board for all that you do. I know that it's something that you keep in mind, but the public in general many times needs to be reminded, unfortunately, of the victims who were involved in these types of major concerns. So thank you very, very much for what you do. Thank you, Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, President Katz. Ms. Rogers, before we read the proclamation, would you like to say a few words about the important mission of your organization?
Yes, Councilmember Glass, thank you so much for this opportunity and just the time to take a few seconds for some quick statements. I just want to thank those that are in the county's HHS trauma services programs, especially the Abused Persons Program and the Victim Assistance and Sexual Assault Program staff. They are committed to serving those that are victims of crime, as well as those that are victim assistants within the circuit and district courthouses in the county. I also want to thank my fellow board members who are from different areas of the county, but are serving those that are crime victims. They may be attorneys, they may be in the courthouses, they may be volunteering, and they may be social workers. But together, we are serving the county and wanting to make sure that victims of crime are receiving the services that they need and are healing in the proper way. So thank you for sharing those stats, and thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you for reminding us of the team effort that is required to make our family whole here in Montgomery County and make sure everybody is safe and protected. So with that, Councilmember President Katz and I will alternate this virtual proclamation reading. A proclamation of the Montgomery County Council. Whereas the Victim Services Advisory Board was formed in 1986 and today continues to support Montgomery County's commitment to serving survivors of crime and their families. And
whereas the Victim Services Advisory Board has successfully advocated to improve both the scope and operations of the HHS Trauma Services Abused Persons Program and developing a Victim Services Directory as a comprehensive guide to county services for survivors, including health care, mental health, education, and substance abuse. And
whereas every other year, the Victim Services Advisory Board conducts an in-depth survey of the agencies and organizations in Montgomery County that serve survivors and uses this information to strengthen and improve programs for those in need. And
whereas the demand for help from survivors has nearly doubled since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, requiring the expansion of services for individual counseling and increased support for victims during legal procedures with the police, state's attorney's office, and other county agencies. The health and economic uncertainty of survivors has only increased the importance of the services and support provided by the Victim Services Advisory Board. Please.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby celebrates and congratulates the Victim Services Advisory Board for tirelessly advocating for survivors, ensuring that programs and organizations across the county are responsive to the needs of survivors and their family. Presented on this, the 27th day of October in the year 2020, signed by me and Council President Katz. So, Ms. Rogers, thank you very much, and please extend our gratitude to all of your board members.
Of course. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. And please thank the board for all that they do as well. Thank you, Councilmember Glass.